Hello everybody, this is Terry Jeanette with the Tappingflamingo, and today's video I'm going to make some goodies with February 2022's bargain bead box. First, we're going to make a pair of earrings. Second, remember this that I wire wrapped in the unboxing? I'm going to make a necklace with it. So for each earring, you're going to need one of the links, and I'm going to make it so it faces this way where you see the black. You could turn it this way if you wanted, but I want this to show. You need a headband, two little tiny silver tone seed beads. I'm going to use one of the bead caps that we got in our bead box bargain, and then one of the chevron beads and one of the man-made glass beads. I do have this little daisy spacer, and of course you're going to need an ear wire, round nose pliers, regular pliers, and wire cutters. All right, the first thing you want to do is get your headband, and I'm going to put one of the seed beads at the bottom, and the little chevron crystal, and then the bead cap, so it's facing that way. And then the little glass bead, and the little daisy spacer, and top it with another silver tone little seed bead. Now, honestly, you could stop right there. That makes a nice earring just like that. But we're going to actually hang it on this. Go ahead, and if you want to, you can do a wire wrap. I'm just going to do a simple loop. This is going to be a pretty long dangle, so I don't really want a big space, I guess you could say, in between the loop and the beads. I want it to be pretty small. So the next thing I need to do, I need to figure out which way I want to hang this little bead strip here. Because as you notice, we have a loop going in one direction, loop going in an opposite direction. I'm going to go ahead and hang my ear wire to make sure that I do hang the bottom part the right way. So once you determine that, you just open it up, make sure it's hanging the correct way, and close her up. And then now we'll be able to hang the rest of this correctly on there, like so. Once I get that closed, I got my earring done. And they have a lot of fun movement to them. Before I start making the necklace, I want to address this a little bit. I do have a video on how I made it, and I'll leave a link up here somewhere where you can go check it out. I'll also leave a link down in the description box below. I just took some small beads, the amethyst, they're called the 3mm finely faceted natural amethyst beads, which are teeny. I believe they're like 3mm, so they're really little. And I also took some 3mm apatite beads. And I just took 24 gauge wire and wrapped them around here. But we have a little gaposis on each side, and that bugs me. So I'm going to take these glass beads from the kit, and I'm going to do some more wiring so that they lay in the center here. One on one side and one on the other. So basically what I've done is I've just taken some wire and clipped some, I don't remember, about a foot maybe, and determined about the middle and wrapped it around there a couple of times. And now I'm just going to thread the bead. I'm going to try to attempt to thread the bead. Here we go. On there, on that side, And then just wrap this around several times. And do the same thing on this side. Make sure I put it where I want it. And just keep wrapping until I run out of wire, and carefully tuck the wire in so you're not cracking any of the beads. And I believe I have all my wires tucked in. Don't feel any scratchiness. So now let's put this into a necklace. So for this necklace, in addition to my beading wire, I am going to be using the rest of these, well, not the rest of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these chevron crystals. And 2, 4, 6, I believe 8 of these man-made glass beads. I need a couple of these seed beads. I think I have enough of these little daisy spacers. I'm going to use the toggle clasp and the chain. And I need to get, I need my regular pliers that I use, my wire cutters, my pliers and round nose pliers possibly. And I need to get some clamshell bead caps or bead tips. Here's they're called crimp bead covers, but I don't use them as that. And here's my trusty little tool. I'm going to need that. I use this. And I'm also going to need a couple of jump rings. So the first thing I did was I went ahead and put on the crimp cover. And I just tied a couple of knots in there and then closed it up. And then I'm going to start stringing my beads. I'm going to start with the little tiny seed bead, and then I'm going to use one of these daisy spacers, and I'm pretty much just going to do every other bead. So it'll be like this with the crimp beads in the middle. And then when I put the, pendant in the middle, it's going to be in the middle of these 2 glass beads here. Now let me get these strung up. So I have them all beaded up. I did not put any of those daisy spacer beads in between these 2 because you're not going to be able to see them. And this silver kind of separates that out anyway. So now that I have finished off with the spacer bead and the little seed bead, I need to finish off the other end here. And again, I just tie 2 knots. This end I do have to feed in there. That's why I use this little pin. You want to make sure it doesn't get behind the hook. Sometimes it will do that. It can be a little fiddly. But in my opinion, this is a lot less fiddly than using crimping beads or crimping tubes. I hate crimping tubes. We do not get along at all. Plus the fact, I think this looks nicer. And these are supposed to hide the crimp beads, the crimp tubes. So why use a crimp tube when you can tie knots in there and you get the same look? So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and feed this in there and close her up and trim her up. And then we're going to add some chain. Now I need to determine what size necklace I want. Do I want it an 18-inch? That's usually the standard size that will hit you more on your chest. Do I want this longer? I think I want it 18 inches. And let me measure this clasp. By the time we get the jump rings on there, we're talking, it's going to be about 3/4 of an inch. So I got to keep that in mind. Something else I need to keep in mind, I could do one of two things. I could go ahead and just hook it like that, close it up. I could use jump rings. That would give it a whole different look. Here's kind of the look you would get with a jump ring. I'm not for sure I want that on this, although we're doing circles. Let me think about this a little bit. So I think I've decided to go ahead and use jump rings down here. It just gives it a little bit more interest since we have the circle here going on. And in this rest of the set, I'm going to have other circles going on too. All right, these are really thick, so I need to get another pair of pliers. I really love this doohickey, but I don't have a wide enough opening for these really thick jump rings. So I need to use 2 pliers to twist them open. Oh, I didn't think about this. I hope they fit. Oh, good. It fits. I was going to say, it may not fit when we have to go back to plan A. Close that up. Make sure we don't have a gaposis in there. Sometimes you have to go back and forth until it is totally closed. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is hook this guy in here and close it up. And then I need to do the same thing on the other side. But first, I need to do some measuring. Okay. So by the time I get this in the clasp on, we're talking about 1 inch. So I need to keep that in mind. So we got 18 inches we want to do. So we're going to go to, I'll do a little over 15 because I've got some clipping. I like those little rings on each side. It adds a lot more to it. Okay, now I need to determine the middle of this chain and clip that little loop that's hanging all by itself. And we're going to put the clasp on and we're going to be done. Now to put the toggle clasp on, I'm actually using a split ring, and I use a split ring splitter plier thinger, which is wonderful. You just put that little hooky in there and put the end of the split ring in the hole, and then you just twist it around. And there she goes. Isn't that fun? That is so nice. Now I'm going to do the same thing and put the chain in there. And now I have it all finished. Let's see how long it wound up being. See how on target I was. Well, look at there. It is just about, I'm just maybe, I don't know, a couple 16ths of an inch off. And this is what it looks like on. Now, the shirt I have on with this, I wouldn't probably wear this, but I wanted you to see what it looked like on. I really like this. Turned out pretty cool. And here are the earrings. Let me know what you think of this set. I would really appreciate a thumbs up. Mostly though, I hope you all have a fantastically wonderful day. This is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo signing out for now. Bye-bye.